Hello, and welcome to Marketplace with Charles, brought to you by Art of Skincare. Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you. I am Charles Ngobeni. On Marketplace, we aim to empower, encourage, and equip you with the right tools that you need in order for you to move closer to you achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week brings you insights from experts in different fields of business, from men and women of faith, but also from ordinary people from all walks of life. Today, we explore the subject of pitfalls to business success. I introduce you to an inspirational speaker, a radio presenter, life and leadership coach, and author of several books. Help me welcome Mr. Maano Ramadwa in your home this afternoon. It may be wherever you are watching it from. Mr. Ramadwa, welcome to Marketplace with Charles.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you to your viewers as well at home.
It is my pleasure to have you. You know, to give great people in the show like this. Full of wisdom.
You see, we are blessed to be here. And you make us great, because when we are in the midst of greatness like yours, there's no way we cannot actually
But
be great.
remember, you made me great on your show.
So it's an exchange of some sort. It does happen. It does hapen. Thank you.
So I'm paying revenge. In a good way.
In a good way. It's some kind of revenge. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's a positive revenge. We're going to have fun today. We're going to have fun. You know, different people have got different definitions of the word success.
Yeah.
You know, to some other, success is having managed to have a lot of money. But to others, success is to have a house which they're still owing, which may be repossessed at any time. To others, success is to have a car which they're still paying installment for it. To others, success is having a beautiful wife, of which beauty lies on the eyes of a beholder. And to others, is to have kids. We all have got different definition of success. But what is the real definition of success? And even after you have achieved what we call success, why is it that some other business they're still susceptible to economic woes and they crumble? My guest will help you understand this, and he's going to help you fight and avoid failures in your business. I come back to you, Mr. Ramadwa.
Yes.
Maano.
Yeah. That's what I'm comfortable, man.
I know. Vendor is fashionable nowadays.
Touch me.
So you have to be, yes.
Touch me.
You won't go to Syria, but you'll go to Matamela.
I'll go to Matamela.
Okay. Can you briefly tell our viewers who you are and where you come from and your background and what you do, other than what I've said already?
No, Maano Ramadwa is a young village man. I was born and raised in the village called Muduruni, Akutama in Luitregat, Limpopo province.
Akutama?
Yeah.
Chirobsiku?
Chirobsiku, yeah.
Okay.
That's where I grew up, and I got educated there and all that. But you know, the life always has this issue with us. So it battered me a little bit, and I left school after trying twice in matric. And then when I was outside, I realized, no, but it looks like life needs to go back. And that's when I went back to matric at the age of 23, got my matric certificate, and then went and studied to become a teacher. So,
and at the age of 23, you did not even have to get an exemption by then, because you qualified.
I qualified
for age exemption.
Yeah, exactly. So I did not know much about that at the time. And I decided to go back, and I think the drive was more on you need to have an exemption. You know, it felt more like if you don't have an exemption, you would not really do much. But
which today, in today's terminology, they call it a degree qualification.
Yeah.
Without a degree.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I went to that extent. Went to study 3 years at Maano College of Education, became a teacher, and came this side of Johannesburg, worked a couple of years at a private school, took it further. And, you know, the grace of God just led one thing to the other until I became a principal. And I was a principal of Blue Eagle High School in Cosmos City. Then, yeah, 2 years down the line, you know, when I arrived there, I thought, in fact, I gave the staff a 3-year period. I said, I'm going to be here for 3 years. After that, I'll leave. And I did not know what I was talking about then. But then what happened was, after 2 years, we had built a solid school. It's not amazing today that school is number one in Cosmos City. So after 2 years, I felt I've done it. But one day I was just sitting at home in the office very early in the morning. And I had done all my routine for the morning. And I felt, but what else is there to do? And that's where God started speaking to say, your territory is much bigger than the schoolyard. So from that day, I did not even think twice, just consulted at home, but came back and tendered my resignation, and I left. So, motivational speaking, after 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not even reach the 3 years that I had anticipated, so, but I felt that it was more important for me to move on, and I just could not see myself to work another 15 years doing the same thing. And you know, still getting the same results. That for me became something else. I decided I'm leaving. And as I was now preparing to exit, I started writing my first published book, and everything led to the other until now. When I'm doing my coaching, I do a lot of coaching for young people, for adults, and for schools. Because I got certified during the 2 years that I was in the principal's office as a school leadership coach with Matthew Goniwe School of Leadership. And then from there, I do that on a regular basis. I do seminars, leadership and also personal development seminars. It's writing, it's radio, it's television. Now we have started shooting a new series called Leadership Conversations. It's going to hit the screens very soon. We have already started shooting. We started shooting last week. And yeah, that's basically Maano Ramadwa in a nutshell.
Oh, that's great. You know, talking about teaching, I've been a teacher too.
Yeah.
But I taught for 15 years.
15, yeah. You
but
went.
when I left teaching after 15 years,
yeah,
I only had 1 year of experience.
Because all the other things were just repetitions.
It was a repetition.
Yeah.
1 + 1 is 2. X plus Y plus Z.
Yeah.
You know, solve for X. You know, I was a maths and a science teacher. Year after year, it was the same thing over and over and over again after 15 years.
Yeah.
So I can't say I had 15 years worth of experience. No.
But you see, with you,
I taught for 15 years, but I had only 1 year worth of experience.
You were fortunate because you were teaching mathematics. So I'm teaching English. So with English, it settles in your brain. So regardless of how many new books are going to be issued, that English is still there. So you move around, you're a textbook on your own. So
at least you were reading and teaching different novels, so year after year. With mathematics, even today, they're solving for the value of X.
For the same X.
They haven't found it. And they're still battling to find the value of X.
But you know what I like about teaching is,
Yeah.
and that is why a lot of people, when they ask me, what are you? I always say I'm a teacher, because whatever I do, it's linked to to where I started.
In fact, teaching is a calling.
It's a calling, and I always say it's
not
the only one that is part of the gifts that Jesus Christ gave.
Yes.
All the other professions are not...
in fact, it's part of the fivefold ministries.
Exactly.
It's only that today everyone wants to be a prophet. Everyone wants to be a pastor.
Yeah.
You know, everyone wants to be an apostle. You know, No one wants to be a teacher.
It's fashionable, you know. New things are coming in.
And now we have added the sixth one, a bishop.
Yeah.
And very few people know that a bishop is far low than a pastor. Because what does a bishop mean?
More like an administrator.
It's an administrator. And yet they call themselves bishops. Anyway, do you mind to take us through your life and leadership coaching?
Yeah, you know, what I do is that, you know, as a teacher, you are qualified as a coach by virtue of being a teacher.
Yeah.
Because you coach children every day.
Every day, yes.
And what I did not actually, the know-how that I did not have until I went into to do this qualification with Matthew Goniwe, it was more of, you know, coaching without the tools. But then when I went to Matthew Goniwe, I went through a rigorous training in terms of how do we coach other people to become that which in the school environment we envisage them to become, so that we can try and build capacity so that the school can have consistency. And that I've taken now, and it's what I do on a day-to-day basis. Young people that I meet, some of them whom I'm coaching through my books, and those people that I'm coaching through radio, because on radio I have a slot called Maano Speaks Motivations, which I always do for 15 minutes. And I share my expertise through that. And the other things that I actually do, like now I'm talking about the new television program that is coming. We're talking leadership issues through television. And there's also the other coaching that I do through seminars. Like, for example, in the next few weeks, we will be having a workshop. Those workshops are small, intimate groupings that I deal with, about 10 to 20 people. Then we deal with those on a monthly basis. But the seminars, we do them on a quarterly basis, because those would be group kind of people, and we invite speakers to come and address people. But the other thing that I also do, it's the one-on-ones, where someone would say, but I've seen you doing great stuff, and I want you to take me through. How do I actually find myself? How do I go about doing certain things? That's where we set up an appointment, and through the company, the Bambele Training Solutions, which I've established when I left teaching, we run those one-on-one sessions. But it's not the one-on-one sessions on as consultations like what churches, pastors do these days. But those are more business-orientated one-on-one sessions to help people to develop themselves.
For 25,000 rands?
No, not like that.
I mean, those are the going rates with the prophets nowadays.
You see, it's unfortunate.
But anyway, I see you wrote a lot of books, and you came with some of them here on the show.
Yeah.
Can you give the viewers the background into the birth of your books? Maybe one could be inspired out there.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to book writing, and I think it's important to let our viewer out there to understand exactly what this is all about. Every single idea that comes, it's God-inspired. Now, you would understand what I'm talking about. If we have, if I'm driving, and this is what, it happens many times with me. I'm driving and I'm at 140 kilometers per hour or 120 to be safe with the metropolis. Then in my spirit, God just drops an idea. And I can't do anything at that time. All I do is just pull over, record that idea, and the nitty-gritties that come with it. And then I drive, I go. When I find time at home, then I start breaking it down. God, what is it that you actually wanted with this? And ideas will be coming, and the whole thing will be broken down. And when it has now been broken down, that's where the issue of the book would come through. Just to give you an example, with the 10 deadly spirits, what happened with this one was the scripture, Hosea 4 verse 6, came in very strongly. My people shall perish due to lack of knowledge. And for me, the issue was, now, what do you mean about this? And then it started unfolding to say the people are going to perish because they don't have the knowledge. Now you need to start working on this kind of knowledge. Now, what kind of knowledge? Because there is a lot of knowledge out there. And that's where God started speaking now to say, do you understand that when you are on earth here, the battle is in the spirit? Now, that's where the 10 deadly spirits came. To say the world, the way it defines and describes this kind of spirits that I've actually just put together into this book, they are defined more like lifestyles. But these are the lifestyles that people out there think it's a lifestyle, yet there is a spirit behind it. And the aim of the spirit is nothing else but what John 10:10 says. You will realize the Bible says the thief does not come except to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Now, the spirit is only coming there to make sure that there is destruction. And that is why in the workplaces you find people are now losing jobs. And people who lose jobs are not just people in general, but it's certain people with certain behaviors influenced by this kind of spirits. That's how my books are actually come about. They come as one idea, drops in, and then after more meditation, then it becomes clear. Then we put together into a book.
Let's take the 10 deadly spirits.
Yeah.
I don't know why 10. If it were me, I probably have said the 7 deadly spirits.
Yeah.
Because 7 is a number of completion. Or maybe the 12 deadly spirits. For the 12 apostles, one for each one of them.
Yeah. And I think I was running away from that because when I looked at the spirits, these are the spirits that are very close to my heart. And when
wait a minute, you have got spirits in your heart.
What I'm saying is, when these spirits came about, and I started looking at each one of them, each one of them, they play a huge role in our communities. Jails are full. Because of some of the spirits. People are sitting at home and demoralized because of some of the spirits. And that is why I'm saying they are close to my heart, because remember, I'm a teacher. So when you teach, you interact actively with the communities. So as a result of that, you get to see how the spirits have actually manifested themselves within the communities that you're serving. Yeah.
But what is the role of these spirits in individuals' life? And in the business world?
We go back to John 10:10. The thief will never come unless the thief is here to steal. Now, what does the thief steal? Remember, each one of us have been blessed from the beginning. So we walk around with the blessing of God. And whether we go into the marketplace, whether we go into our companies, we move around with the blessing of God. But then, because that blessing of God does not make the devil happy, then the devil is out to steal it.
Yes.
And it's not only about stealing, but if something is stolen, you will easily replace that. And the devil does not want you to replace it. He steals it, and after he has stolen it, he wants to make sure that he kills it and he destroys it completely.
And it's a progression.
And it's progression. Now, when that has happened, you come back and you realize, if, say for example, one of these spirits manifests in a young person of about 15 with a promising future, what happens? If he steals it, this young man can recover. I recovered after having left school. But for him, he must be very worried that I recovered now, because I'm now posing a serious threat on him. So that is why the aim is to kill that which he has actually stolen and make sure that there is destruction. In the end, people must just go down the grave with nothing that God has actually given them. Remember, we were called to multiply.
Yes.
So each one of us must make sure that we multiply. But if your dream and your vision has been stolen by the devil, what else can you multiply on?
Before we take our break, I would like you to tell the viewers what spirits you would like us to discuss after the break. Out of the 10 spirits, which ones would you like us to tackle after the break?
It's very interesting that you have actually spoken about it. What we are going to look at, I think we must just look at the spirit of poverty. We must also look at the spirit of pride. And we will also look at, that will also depend also in terms of the time. But the poverty, and the blame. You know, in our country these days, blame is ruling. And I think that's one of those that we can actually talk about when we come back from the break.
After the break, we are going to destroy and dismantle and take authority over the spirit of poverty, the spirit of blame,
and pride.
And pride. See you shortly. Welcome back to Marketplace with Charles. I'm sitting here with a great man, Maano.
Amen.
Maano, we promise people that we are going to fight these spirits.
We must fight the spirits. We must talk about the spirits.
And let's tackle them one by one. You know, we don't want a gang of spirits.
Yeah.
Unless they overpower us. Let's start with poverty.
You know, we are people who have the blessing of God, like I've indicated. And the blessing of God comes with individual ideas that have been given. And I'm going to share this with you and your viewers out there. And when I say this, I'm not saying it with pride. I understand when you say this thing, sometimes it gets misinterpreted. You will agree with me, Charles. I have a good voice.
Not only good, the best I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Especially on radio.
Now, do you know what the devil would do? The devil would look at my voice and say, because God did not just give me the voice, he gave me the voice so that I can multiply with this voice. I can create a lot of things with this voice. I can be at any time, you know, as I'm teaching, I'm using the same voice. Now, the devil is not pleased with that because he knows what I have. And sometimes I may not even know that I have this gift. So what he does is he sidetracks you because he knows that when you are not moving in line with what God has given you, there is no way you can be successful. You can enjoy some level of success, and that success will not be sustainable. Now, that is exactly the situation. Now, when he has done that, a lot of people come to a point where because they don't understand what they don't discover themselves. They don't find this one thing that God has given them so that they can multiply. They move around and just shaking here and there, doing things that they are not meant to do. And in the long run, they get demoralized. And then he comes back and he says, but you're not good enough. You see that? And because human beings are believers naturally, they believe anything. And you end up believing this voice that says, no, there is nothing that you were created for. And that becomes the problem. Now, a lot of people end up losing it when it comes to the spirit of poverty because they move away from God. Mm-hmm. You see, God is the giver of all gifts. Now, and all good gifts come from him. Mm-hmm. So he has given you a good gift. Instead of working on that gift, you turn away from him. So you can't connect with him. So you can't connect with your gift, because there's always a relationship between the gift and the giver. If you give me a jacket today, I must be able to take care of that jacket. And when you see me mopping the ground or the floor with your jacket, you will be affected. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's exactly how God it gets affected with us when we are not actually using our gifts the way that he has actually given us. Now, in the process, you'll realize that because we turn away from God, we don't connect with him, so we can't actually even get the easiest instruction to say, maybe if you do voiceover, you will start to make an impact. Maybe if you go on radio, you will start to make an impact. So those things would be away from you because you're not listening to God. Mm-hmm. And in the long run, you realize that bit by bit, other things come in. You find yourself not being able to give God's people what God has given you, the message that he has given you, because you have this voice, but the same voice that you must be giving the message with, you're not actually giving it. And that is very critical for...
You know, I can easily and simply identify with this. For 9 years, I tried to do a BSc engineering degree. After 9 years, I did not even have it. And I was labeled a professional university dropout after 9 years. But guess what? I went ahead and went to do my MBA. And I passed my MBA in record time and in flying colors without a junior degree. To hear more of that story, I think we need to continue next week. Our time is up. Don't miss next week. We'll continue with the story. And on top of the story, we're going to tackle the other deadly spirits that we do not have time to deal with today. It will be a great show. You can get hold of me on www.charlesngobeni.com or on Instagram, Charles_Ngobeni, or you may like me or follow me on Facebook. I am Charles Ngobeni signing off. Breaking the spirit of poverty. Creating kingdom billionaires. See you next week when we continue with Maano.